790 AM, 94.1 FM, KFGO.com, the KFGO mobile app. Follow 790 KFGO on Twitter. Like the KFGO Morning Crew on Facebook.
We want to talk pet care. Joining us now, Dr. Heather Mitchell of Animal Health Clinic joins the KFGO Morning Crew. Good morning to you, Dr. Mitchell.
Good morning.
We've really been hearing in this pandemic how important pets are for people from their mental health standpoint. They're relying more and more on their pets. People are adopting pets and buying pets. Dr. Mitchell, are people also making sure that they keep their pets healthy and doing all of the important reminders as we head into winter, or have people been a little bit lax on that?
You know, there's a few things I think that have become good from this pandemic, and one of them is the devotion of pet owners to their pets. They have been really intuitive about their pets' health too. So maybe picking up on some things that are a little bit more subtle and picking up on things a little bit earlier, just because they've been spending more time with their pets. So I think that's been good for the veterinary community and good for pet owners as well. And another thing I think is good from this pandemic is that we've, got to spend more time with family and more time with our pets too, because I think that human-animal bond that we have with our pets has become even more strong. So I think that's very beneficial for people's mental health too, especially with, so much stress that we're seeing really every day in every part of our lives while we're going through this pandemic. So pets are definitely playing a very important role.
Dr. Heather Mitchell is with Animal Health Clinic, joining us here on the KFGO Morning Crew. Maybe sticking to the pandemic thing here, are you seeing, and maybe you're not, pandemic weight gain in pets, or kind of going the opposite way because maybe people are exercising, especially their dogs
That's a great
more?
question.
That brings up a very good point. I think the pets, like earlier this spring when it was very nice out, people were out walking and running, and there was a few weeks there where we saw a whole lot of sores on the pets' paws because they weren't quite, have that keratin build up on their paw pads, and they were just walking all the time. So we were seeing a lot of paw pads that had sores on them. So yeah, that's a very good point too. And you'd think that myself personally, I probably put on some weight during this pandemic, which really is unfortunate because we've had lots of extra time to maybe do more things for our health and exercise too. But I chose to watch Netflix instead. So, but most of our pet owners did very well with exercising their pets. They took that opportunity, so I'm very proud of them.
Dr. Mitchell, we have Emily on the line, and she has a German Shepherd. She actually has a question. So if you don't mind, if we could put Emily on the line, and Emily, you've got a question for Dr. Mitchell?
Yeah. Recently, I noticed my German Shepherd Border Collie mix has been itching his back end a little bit more, and he started to have like a little bit of a discoloration of his fur patches on his back end. We changed his food, I'd say, about 2 months ago. Could that have an effect from the food? Do we need to try a different diet for him? What are your thoughts and suggestions there?
Yeah, that's definitely something to investigate. There could be a couple possibilities for that. It could be a food change. Sometimes it takes a few weeks for things to manifest if they're having some issues with their food, whether it be an allergic reaction or, stomach upset. So food definitely could be on the radar. And then another possibility is potentially some anal gland issues. The anal glands are right there around the anus. And if they're a little bit full or inflamed, those can present a little bit of an issue, causing the pet to maybe scoot on its rear end a little bit more or even lick back there.
So it sounds like
things.
Maybe she should bring her pet in for a checkup, Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah. It would be a good idea to do that because you don't want to let anal gland issues go too long because that could be a
Right.
little bit more serious of a situation.
All right. Good luck to you, Emily, and thanks for the call. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
guys.
You
Mhm.
betcha.
Bye-bye.
Yep, this is Dr. Heather Mitchell, Animal Health Clinic, joining us here on the KFGO Morning Crew. And, the weather's getting colder here, and it's going to get even colder where we live, Dr. Mitchell. Are there any, I guess, reminders or precautions we should be taking for our pets when it comes to, say, outdoor care?
Oh, absolutely. Ice melt is probably something to watch out for. If you have pets, make sure it's the pet safe kind. Sometimes if we use the ice melt that's not pet safe, they can get that on their fur, on their feet, and if they start to groom themselves, kind of lick that stuff off, that could be cause some gastrointestinal upset in their belly, or even cause some irritation in their mouth and tongue. So that's something to watch for here once it starts getting a little bit colder out.
Yeah, I learned that one the hard way with my Shih Tzu maybe a dozen years back. I was out taking her for a walk throughout the neighborhood, and we came across that, and all of a sudden she started lifting her paws, and I didn't think anything of it at the time, but it's like, yeah, that can cause some serious problems, can it?
Yeah, yep, and some pets can be fairly sensitive and even cause some irritation on the bottom of their feet too. So, yep, and that's a good point as well. Maybe not just in your, in your area where you live, but if you're going for a walk at night or during the day, other people's sidewalks too might have non-pet safe ice melt. So, yeah, that's a very good point.
And wanted to ask this because I know that, if your pet is sick and you're having issues and say your pet might need even surgery, it becomes very, very expensive. Are you a big proponent for everybody to have pet insurance, Dr. Mitchell?
Oh gosh, I even have pet insurance. Yep, I recommend it. And the best place or the best time to start is when they're a puppy. So, even kind of with, it doesn't work really the same as human pet insurance, human insurance.
We knew what you meant.
But a lot of the paperwork kind of burden lies on the pet owner. And really, it's not that big of a burden. It's just a little bit of paperwork, kind of like the claim forms that you fill out. So the veterinarian would definitely be able to help with, putting down a diagnosis and filling out, that part of the claim form. But then really the pet owner does the rest. Either they take a picture of it and send it through email, through fax. But definitely, I think a very wise decision to get pet insurance because it allows you to provide the care to the pet that you want to without having to worry so much about those financial restrictions or financial restraints.
Yeah, and
So,
we know how expensive it can get, but is pet insurance in itself, is that expensive or?
It's very reasonable.
Okay.
For what you pay and what you get. I think it's very reasonable. There are many plans available, kind of depending on what your need. There's very comprehensive plans that include, our flea and tick preventions, vaccinations, spay, neuters, wellness visit, dental visits. There's packages that are, run $70, $75 a month that cover all of that. There are more maybe minimalist insurance plans that run around $35 that are just for like major medical issues,
Okay.
like if we have a knee surgery that needs to be done or a stomach surgery, things like that. So
Sure.
more for emergency type of things.
Sure. What's your number over there at Animal Health Clinic, Dr. Mitchell, if maybe Emily or anybody else wants to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You betcha. Animal Health Clinic, we're open at 7:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. On Saturdays, our number is 701-237-9310, and we're, taking patients every day. Our lobby is closed just due to the rising number of COVID cases every day in our area. So, but we are open. It's just we're kind of doing this curbside thing again.
Okay.
Trying to keep everybody safe and healthy because it's really our priority, in the whole FM veterinary community. It's our priority for us to stay healthy so we can help you guys and your pets.
Very good. Love
So
it.
that's our primary focus.
All right. Dr. Mitchell, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. I love talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
Same. Dr. Heather Mitchell, Animal Health Clinic, joining us here on the